In this episode of Film Stock Reviews, I'm reviewing The Silent Sea. The Silent Sea premiered Christmas Eve, December 24th, 2021 on Netflix. It's an 8-episode Netflix series. It's season 1, and the episodes consist between 39 to 51 minutes. And this South Korean sci-fi mystery thriller is really interesting. It's not your normal Korean series that you're known for and that you've been seeing in 2021. This isn't Squid Game, it's not My Name, it's not Hellbound. This is a very different concept of what this whole aspect of original Korean content series is. The series starts off where we find that water on Earth is depleted. This takes place in the near future, and the only way you can get water is you're categorized by your hierarchy or rank, A, B, or C, with a red card, a blue card, or a gold card. You fill your water jug up with a certain amount of milliliter of water, and it's a long line of things. It's like poverty stricken. There is no ocean, and you have to use water in order to sustain life. Not only humans but animals as well. We find that Seong-jan, who is a astrobiologist, is sent on a mission to the moon along with Han Yun, who is played by Gong Yoo, and also Bae Donna is in this, and they are on this mission and they're not really told about what this mission is all about. They're only given 24 hours to go to the moon and, explore what's happening, but they're kept secret of what they're going after. This whole aspect of this mission is really kept under wraps. The first 4 episodes of this series is really interesting. We're just introduced to these characters. There are 10 characters when this series starts, and once this show progresses, we are left with a certain amount of characters at the end, and I'm really surprised at how the story arc for each character was. You have a astrobiologist, you have a military leader, you have a engineer, you have a doctor, you have all these certain aspects of what these characters do in this show, that they're there for a reason, and they do get an equal amount of screen time. Now, as they're there, they have to go on, like I said, on this mission to retrieve a secret capsule container, and we find out that they're going after looking for water, because they have to, give Earth water again, because in order to survive. But this water is not your average water. This is lunar water or moon water. It has a certain effect on different ways of certain antibodies of how people react to it. And there is a secret cover-up of what happened at this station on the moon, which is Bailai Station. And once we find out and cover the truth about what's happening, holy shit, a lot of shit happens. One episode after another is right on top of one another. You think you know what's going on, but then you don't. You think life can be sustained on this so-called moon, but then it's a whole different aspect of what you want to understand. The characteristics of this being an interesting show is because it's based on the 2014 short film The Sea of Tranquility, written by and directed by Cho Hang-young, which he directed every single episode of this series, which was phenomenal, because not only that, but it was also written by Park Young-kyo, and he wrote every single episode. If you have the same director and the same writer writing and directing each episode, it's going to be even par and tranquil, and it really, really works. Each episode is its own, and it explains to you what happens on this mission. Not only that, we find out why Seong-jan was picked for this mission. We find out what the conspiracy is behind covering certain things up, for that matter. And I'm not giving away spoilers in this review, because you have to understand, you have to see this show for what it is. I did binge watch it. I sat through it for 6 straight hours, and it was actually worth it, and it was really, really fun to watch. Korean sci-fi aspect of shows is very different than what you normally see, because there's not many really Korean sci-fi shows out there. But when they do something like this, it's really interesting. It's a mix of Event Horizon meets Alien and meets any other sci-fi movie you can think of that takes place in space, with a twist. And the twist in this is really surprising and interesting, and it makes you think about the adaptation of water, how certain things are done. They do explain why this water does what it does on the moon and not certain things. When it comes in contact with something, it changes its biometrics. It changes its way of how the water interacts with human form, even with animals. You think like certain things are happening, but it's all the aspect of the understanding of the life cycle of so-called amphibians, for that matter. I'll just say that. But once you understand what's happening, then you really are opened your eyes to like, holy shit, this is crazy. It's very unexpected of what you actually expect on this show. It's not anything you've seen. The story is really well done. It's really well written. The action is not much action, but there's a lot of suspense. There are very much, I want to say maybe 45% is horror elements, and when these horror elements are added in, it's insane and it's mind-blowing. This show is a must-see show. If you liked Squid Game, if you liked Hellbound, if you liked My Name, if you liked all these Korean shows that Netflix put out in 2021, then you will enjoy The Silent Sea. There is a meaning behind The Silent Sea of what it is in this show. They do explain it. Every single thing is mentioned, and there is no plot hole, but maybe a few. I just want to say maybe there's a few plot holes, but not enough where you don't understand what's going on. You understand why each character is doing what they're doing. You understand why these characters are going through their certain things. When there is a scene where it takes place in the present while you're watching it, they do a flashback scene, but it connects to the present scene and even future episodes and even the previous episodes. When you start episode 1, it gets right into the action, and I don't mean they don't waste any time. Within the first 30 seconds of this show, you understand what's going on. Then we get a backstory of how everything is happening. Each episode kind of starts with a flashback, but some don't. But it makes sense as to how it coincides with one another. This is an interesting show, and the whole aspect of the moon is really interesting because it takes place in one setting over a 24-hour period, and it doesn't feel like that at all. And the aspect of catching the outer exterior of what the moon looks like, the vast darkness. You think being in an open ocean is scary. Well, being on the moon in darkness is even scarier. And this show actually captures certain phobias that not many people like. Like, there are many people out there who don't like space. There are many people out there who don't like the ocean. They put these two phobias together, and they really connected on the level with storytelling. And I was really impressed by how it was done. Gong Yoo, who you know from Train to Busan, Squid Game, and now The Silent Sea, he had a prominent role in this. Bae Donna was really good. She was really, emotional at times. But she has a purpose in this show, and every character has a purpose in this show. There's not one character you don't hate, and there's not one character you don't love, because you love every single character, but then you also hate every single character for what they're doing and what they're not doing. There is a interesting aspect and a very big twist in this of why this expedition or this so-called secret mission to the moon happened. There are cover-ups, there are conspiracy theories. Of course, there's always a conspiracy theory when it comes to the moon. It's been around for hundreds of years, and they touch on certain aspects of that in this show. I highly recommend checking out The Silent Sea. For me, The Silent Sea gets 5 out of 5 stars. It's one of my top shows of 2021. I actually really enjoyed it. Binge watch it if you can, because then you don't miss a beat of what's going on. And like I said, episodes 1 through 4, you're getting introduced to everything. By episode 4, you already know what's happening. And then they explain in episode 5 what everything's about. 6, 7, and 8 is just a closure of everything, which is really well done. I'm curious to see what Netflix has in store for Korean original content, because 2021 was a great year for that, and to end with The Silent Sea is even better. So let me know in the comment section below what you thought about The Silent Sea. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What did you think of it? If you have seen it, what aspect of the sci-fi genre do you think this falls in, and do you like to see more, and do you think there'll be a season 2? I'm hoping there'll be a season 2, but the way it ended, I really don't think it deserves a second season. It was a great closure, and we understand what's happening, and we'll hold the aspect of, the water, the moon, earth. It's really good. So let me know in the comment section below about the questions I just asked and what you thought about The Silent Sea, and what was your favorite Korean show of 2021 on Netflix based on original Korean content. Let me know in the comment section below. And I'll also leave a link in the description box below to the official trailer that I reacted to for The Silent Sea. and the behind the scenes featurette of the Silent Sea in the description box below. You guys can check it out, and I'll see you guys in the next review video.